In pharmaceutical manufacturing, a single microscopic particle or an overlooked crack in equipment can rapidly multiply. If left unchecked, this expanding network can shut down an entire production line. The consequences of this contamination are severe. It forces the destruction of life-saving medicines and exposes workers to harmful biological or chemical elements. Personal protective equipment serves as the primary defense against these risks. It operates as an engineered, active barrier system designed to neutralize hazards at the source. Before any gear is selected, a precise hazard assessment must be completed. This audit dictates exactly which specialized protections are required for each designated area on the floor. Achieving complete audit compliance requires strict adherence to these requirements. By effectively sealing out the environment, we eliminate the human body as a variable in the production process. Step 1 in building this barrier begins at the top. The head and face are the most vulnerable zones for both airborne microbial exposure and sensory damage. Helmets and hard hats require strict inspection before every use. You must check the outer shell for microcracks and adjust the internal straps until the fit is completely snug. Moving down to eye protection, goggles and face shields must form a tight, continuous perimeter against the skin. If lenses are scratched or damaged, they must be replaced immediately to ensure full visibility. During a negative pressure leak check, external airflow is blocked while negative suction pulls the respirator tight against the skin. Once verified, this seal cannot be broken. The respirator must be worn continuously inside any contaminated zone. Hearing protection is similarly mechanical. Earplugs must be fully inserted so they expand inside the ear canal. If earmuffs are used, they require a tight, gapless seal completely surrounding the outer ear. If a gap forms in a goggle strap or a respirator loosens, the defense falls. A micro-failure in any single upper seal compromises the user's entire respiratory and sensory network. With the upper seal secured, we move to the extremities. The hands and feet are the primary points of physical and chemical contact on the production floor. A hazard grid maps specific risks to their necessary glove layers. Select synthetic rubber for chemical drops, woven matched for sharp blades, and thermal padding for heat hazards. Before putting those gloves on, your hands must be entirely clean and dry to prevent microbial growth from getting trapped inside. Once the gloves are contaminated, they must be disposed of immediately. Foot protection requires the constant use of safety shoes in all production areas. The thick rubber soles must be checked for wear, and the steel toe caps verified for structural integrity. The final physical layer is the core body armor. Lab coats, aprons, or coveralls must be fastened all the way to the top button, and the sleeves must be securely integrated directly into the gloves. By tightly overlapping the garments at the wrists, ankles, and neck, you form the structural foundation of a fully functional environmental suit. Certain operations require situational fall protection. Harness straps must be pulled tight, and heavy steel connections verified against secure anchor points before beginning work. For external work or specific handling tasks, skin barrier creams or sunscreens must be applied before exposure and reapplied rhythmically throughout the shift. Sharing personal gear is absolutely prohibited. Using someone else's unsanitized equipment immediately introduces cross-contamination. There is also a zero-tolerance policy for damaged gear. If equipment is expired or compromised in any way, it must be replaced immediately. Ad hoc repairs are never permitted. High-grade protective equipment is rendered useless if its physical chain of custody is broken by human error, or if its individual structural integrity is ignored. Zooming out from the individual operator, these exact procedures form the backbone of good manufacturing practice, or GMP, audit standards. GMP compliance is a strictly measurable state. It requires absolutely zero human contact with the medicines actively being produced. Maintaining this readiness starts with baseline storage conditions. All protective gear must be kept in explicitly clean, dry, and distinctly designated areas when not in use. The physical gear alone is insufficient. It must be paired with continuous training so operators understand exactly how to use it, as well as its functional limitations. When hazards are assessed, seals checked, and layers securely overlapped, the operator is fully sealed and prepared to enter the production line safely. Mastering this head-to-toe protocol guarantees two outcomes. It protects the purity of the life-saving medicines being manufactured, and it protects the life of the worker making